Even the president, all things Tea Party have been dominating the debate, leaving some to wonder, how does Mitt Romney survive this? What does he think? Romney praised Tea Party voters yesterday and said he'll eventually get their support, but he walked a fine line. Take a listen.
I believe that as they get to know me and my vision for the country, recognize that I'm not a lifelong pal, that I spent 4 years in government. I've tried to do more than that, but I wasn't successful. But that as they get to know me better and understand how it is, I'm devoted to shrinking the size of government and encouraging the growth of the free economy. I think I get great support from the Tea Party.
Mattea Gold covers politics for the Los Angeles Times and Chicago Tribune. Former Indiana Congressman Chris Chocola is the president of the Club for Growth, and Helene Cooper is a White House correspondent for the New York Times. Congressman Chocola, I want to start with you. Listening to that answer from Mitt Romney, is Mitt Romney a member of the Tea Party, showing support for the Tea Party, trying to distance himself from the Tea Party? What say you? What did you hear out of that?
Well, you might say all of the above. I mean, you know, what I think the electorate is looking from candidates is more of what they say than what they've done. Mitt Romney tries to share his record, and when you look at his record, it's pretty good when it comes to spending, which I think is one of the biggest issues the Tea Party is focused on. And it's tempting to say that Mitt Romney has a lot of hurdles to get over, but I think he's really going to have to develop into a pole vaulter to get over some of the things like Romney Care and his position on taxes in the past. So I think he's got a real challenge to be embraced by the Tea Party, even though he may try to embrace the Tea Party. And if the electorate is listening to more what people say than with their record and what they've done, both Perry and Romney have, you know, decent records when you actually examine them. But what Perry says is much more in line with the Tea Party, and I think much more likely to get their support.
Helene Cooper, there you heard the former congressman say it's a style versus substance argument. And just to sum up, the specific question was, does he consider himself a member of the Tea Party? And that was the answer he gave. What did you make of it, Helene?
Well, I don't think you can ever really call Mitt Romney a member of the Tea Party. I mean, we could just go back to the health care bill that he advocated and got passed in Massachusetts, and that is so anathema to everything that the Tea Party stands for, that I think at the end of the day, no matter what he says, I don't think people in the Tea Party are going to really be going for Mitt Romney. I think, which is why you're seeing him make sort of the efforts that he's making, but I don't think it's going to have a lot of impact.
You know, Mattea Gold, I want to, Rick Perry obviously is the one, and stylistically, as the former congressman just noted, is showing some more of what the Tea Party wants to hear. But the Ben Bernanke comments has gotten some criticism from fellow Republicans. Here's what Karl Rove said.
It was a very unfortunate comment. You don't accuse the chairman of the Federal Reserve of being a traitor to his country, of being guilty of treason, and suggesting that we treat him pretty ugly in Texas. You know, that's not, again, a presidential statement.
Santorum. And then Rick Santorum made this comparison of Rick Perry and about those comments.
His comments about Ben Bernanke, I mean, they were completely out of bounds. The rhetoric that Rick Perry used was sort of the rhetoric that I would expect from a John Conyers, you know, talking about President Bush and saying he should be impeached. We don't do that. We don't impeach people. We don't charge people with treason because we disagree with them on public policy.
Now, Mattea, you had Governor McDonnell not condemning, sort of back saying he should have chosen a different word.
Right.
Karl Rove and Rick Santorum, a totally different tone in the criticism. What do you make of it?
Well, Texas is a big state, but clearly the spotlight that Governor Perry has stepped into now is unlike any other, and I think he's finding pretty quickly that that brings unique kind of scrutiny. And so the question is, can he really withstand that scrutiny, and can he jump over these hurdles and negotiate between the establishment wing of the party and the Tea Party wing that he's clearly appealing to? I mean, his campaign is embracing this in some ways, reiterating that he's passionate, and that's something that I think is obviously a not so subtle dig at Mitt Romney, but they also have to be very careful that he doesn't box himself out of a position that would help him in the general election.
Congressman Chocola, is Club for Growth going to endorse in the presidential primaries? You put out these white papers when each one of these announces, and you've had, I think, a majority of the candidates, you call them pro-growth. You seem to say nice things about them. Are you going to specifically endorse, and if so, is Rick Perry the most likely candidate that you would endorse?
We haven't made a decision if we will endorse. Encourage people to go to our website at clubforgrowth.org and check out our white papers, which are an objective analysis of their economic positions throughout their careers. We haven't found a candidate that's ideal. I guess that might not be surprising, but we continue to survey the field, listen to what they say, and see how the campaign progresses. But at this point, we haven't made an endorsement. We didn't in 2008, and we're not sure if we will yet. But we think that people need to understand and informed voters are good voters, and so we try to help educate people through the primary process.
All right, coming up, we're going to talk about the president's unveiling of yet another September reset, another attempt at selling jobs. We'll talk about that after the break. So Helene, Matea, Congressman Chocola, stick around. Trivia time, we asked, which future president launched his first career here in Davenport, Iowa? Boy, you guys knew this in a hurry. The answer, of course, Ronald Reagan, who got his broadcasting start at radio station WOC, where he earned $100 a month announcing Chicago Cubs baseball games using a ticker. We'll be right back. You're watching the Daily Rundown only on MSNBC.